agree.
Definitely going to stay here.
The trace of perfection doesn't mean that they are less
confident.
self-confident.
But it does.
Welcome to Bridge the Gap, a show where we aim to build a bridge of understanding between opposing views. Each episode, you'll see our participants sit down to discuss some thought-provoking statements.
The cosmetic industry takes advantage of people's insecurities.
If they disagree with the statement, they'll leave their seat and allow those that agree to explain themselves. Those that disagree then return and express themselves to the rest of the group.
I think most ethical doctors, though, will take a history from a patient. They'll ask them about their social status, their social history.
Hopefully building a bridge of understanding. Let's see what happens.
Industry takes advantage of people's insecurities.
Disagree goes kind of.
What do you think about this statement? Let us know in the comments.
I'm like half and half. Well, I mean, I'm not even half and half, it's mixed. I will just go to the side for the moment and we can talk about it.
That's true.
I'm a bit in between as well. It's a bit of a tricky one.
Thank you.
It's not the industry, because the industry is just there. But I feel like when there are specific plastic surgeons who potentially lower their prices and then don't offer a service which is adequate, then that can be really bad for people. You know, there are a lot of horror stories about people going abroad to get cheaper surgeries. But it's not the actual, I mean, it's the individual who chooses to partake in it.
Right.
And it's their responsibility at the end of the day.
I too kind of feel like if they have gone and taken that step to seek an opinion from a plastic surgery, they already know their insecurities, and it's something that's obvious for them to take that step to see a professional. But however, when it comes to a sense of you're in the presence and then they start pointing out other things that
happens.
It does happen, and it can go either way. But that's where I see they might take advantage or see someone as being insecure and be like, we can also do this, or if you get two treatments.
This? Have you noticed your
You know,
Yeah,
I
get a
actually
discount
agree
and
with
then
what you just said, because people that come into my room, I'm very mindful of the fact that they really have insecurities. That's why they're here.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't do that. If I have a client come in and they talk about, they ask me, what do they ask me? I hate, what should I do to my face? I'll be like, look, you
need this, you need that,
Yeah,
you need this,
I try literally my hardest not to, because it's still a business, you know. I mean, I'm not talking for myself because I don't do that.
Yeah.
But you know, I might hear that they've gone elsewhere and they pointed out that they've had crooked teeth, or they need to do their
things out.
Do you understand? So I try not to, you know, project so much on their insecurities. But I mean, I'm all about natural enhancements anyway. So if I can see that someone's got fillers up to their nose, you need to dissolve it. And not even because. It's more because it's just not aesthetic appeasing. And a lot of them, some of them that can't see, have body dysmorphia to like another extent.
Right.
And so like I mean, I'm a practitioner, I'm not so much a surgeon, so my opinions might be completely different, but I do feel like it's good when we have some type of knowledge sometime on mental health. And I was actually looking at a course called First Aid in Mental Health, because you come across people that just are mentally not okay.
Right.
Where...
And would you still... So what happens then if they're not okay?
If they come in, usually they come in, so girls might come in because they've had a really bad breakup, so they come in to do things that pick me up.
Wow.
But if they come in and what they want is okay, I'll give it to them. It's not a problem, because that's completely separate, right? But when you're some type of a therapist, they end up just offloading on the things that they have, because it's an intimate setting. So I mean, now I partnered up with charities to be able to give them the therapy or help that they need, but then my job stops at when I inject you.
I think most ethical doctors, though, will take a history from a patient. They'll ask them about their social status, their social history. They'll ask them a few questions relating to their psychological well-being as well.
Right.
And in my practice, for example, we ask everyone a psychological questionnaire, and so we assess their mental health and we assess their psychological well-being in terms of the aspects of which they don't like and what they're coming in to see us about. So we do make an assessment, and I think good practice would dictate that this is performed. So the reason why I disagree with the statement or with the question, which was, do you think the cosmetic industry is taking advantage of people with insecurities, is no, because the people who have insecurities to the extent that they would not benefit from any kind of treatments, this type of person is filtered out, and we just wouldn't treat them. We would maybe advise them to seek help elsewhere. And I think the skill that we have as doctors in our diagnostic abilities is something that we're trained in from the very beginning in medical school, and that is the thing that is drummed into us. You have to make a diagnosis, and whether that diagnosis is made because someone is seeing us for an illness related to an internal organ or their well-being in terms of their appearance, it doesn't matter. We still make that diagnosis and we still treat them accordingly.
That's really good, because I mean, I know of people, and a lot of my clients have actually had surgery and they've never been asked about their psychological state.
I feel like that should be necessary.
I think we all have a radar. All surgeons will have a radar, and that radar will, it'll prevent people from flying under that radar so that they get treatment when they really shouldn't be having that treatment.
Yeah.
And people will do that in a different way. You can either do it through a pro forma, which is you're asking your patients questions about their specific questions about their psychological and emotional well-being, or we can just get an impression from them by speaking to them for long enough, and we will get that impression. I mean, it's not very often that someone will go under that radar, but a lot of surgeons they've treated people where subsequently they've realized that wasn't the right thing to do. But hopefully the numbers of people that are going for treatment and are having treatment and are seeking treatments and are not being turned away is getting less and less.
Is it? I thought that plastic surgery was rising.
No. So so what I said was the number of people who are getting treatment who shouldn't be having treatment is reducing, because we're much more aware of the type of person we shouldn't treat. So because we're aware of the people we shouldn't treat, we're not treating them. So that group of people is getting less and less. But you're right, the number of people having cosmetic interventions, whether that's injectables or machine-based treatments such as lasers, or whether it's surgery, yes, that is on the rise.
I have a question then, because where do you draw the line? Because do you just think that someone isn't fit to have plastic surgery because of potentially they've already had surgery and it doesn't look so good? Or if they've had a lot of surgery and it still looks good, would you still consider, and they were in a sane state of mind, would you still consider them for surgery? So
if I could just ask you to clarify that, do you mean if someone comes in saying, I've had surgery on my face, I've had a rhinoplasty,
multiple surgeries, and they look amazing.
Right, so there's nothing wrong with them.
But they still want to get surgery, they just want a little tweak?
No.
You wouldn't do it personally?
Of course not. I don't think any ethical doctor would do any treatments on someone who has a normal appearance. Our treatments aren't designed just to change someone's appearance. They're mainly designed to normalize someone's appearance and to make them feel as if they can stop thinking about something in a negative way when there really is a physical problem associated with that emotional problem. So the physical and emotional sides of their concerns need to match, and they need to be proportionate as well. For example, if someone has a disproportionate degree of upsets over a mild imperfection, then that person is not going to have treatment. Equally, if someone has a disproportionately low negative opinion about a deformity that they have, that's fine. They're not going to seek treatment. But the people who have a high proportion of emotional concern about a physical characteristic which is equally that high in terms of its deviation away from normal, those are the people that we would treat.